Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbe with Believe in the Run. And this is Megan, and I'm
I
not
was just
here.
gonna say there's dead silence now. Boy, you're in for a hell of a ride because normally Megan keeps us on track.
Yeah, and her absence is going to be missed by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, Megan's out. She's not. Our trip to London, man. That was rough. Just getting used to getting back here. I think people were worried about us getting used to the time when we got there. I think it's actually been. Maybe it's because we prepared, but it's been more hard coming back.
Why?
I'm tired at 2 p.m. and like bedtime tired.
You're not sticking to your sleep schedule that you...
No, and then I wake up like this morning. I woke up at 4 and I'm like, I'm ready to go.
That's kind of good, though.
It would be good, except for, this is the week that I get to not go running in the morning.
Oh, right.
So it's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you were just sleep in and took it easy? But I'm like wide awake.
Man. So what do you do in the wee hours of the morning?
Start sending emails.
The worst.
Annoying everybody. Like, what time did he send this?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Meg's out, but I'm going to do my best to try to cover some of the details of what happened in London and find out what Robbie is doing, because we definitely miss Robbie on this trip.
I feel like I haven't seen you in like a year.
I know. It's weird. It's been what? 4 days? 5 days?
That's been a week.
A week?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been a week. Yeah, it actually
Apparently not as long to you.
Well, no, it does seem long, but I'm like, in reality, it wasn't that long. But I will tell you this: lots of Robbie fans over in London.
Really?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
That
makes me like cry a little bit that I wasn't there, like inside my heart.
Yeah, I think it's weird because we've done a couple trips where you've either had other commitments, or in this case, you weren't running in London, so there's no point for you to travel across the world. But yeah, man, people want to see the Robbie.
Okay,
they want to see the mustache.
London, I'm coming for you.
Someday. I do think you should run it.
I would love to.
It was pretty crazy.
I mean, when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with the general British culture of things. Oasis, like just pea coats, Burberry. I could keep.
I have
I'm
to
not going to
say,
keep saying British things.
Robbie, the dress of the people in London, was far superior.
You don't say.
Oh my god! So like, I don't know if the people were good looking or not, because I was just like, wow, their style is so good that they could have been trolls. But I was like, man, they look fantastic. Like the tailoring, the fit. Like there's so many people that look like.
Did you go to Savile Row and get it fitted?
Savile Row or Savile?
Is it Savile or Savile?
I thought it was Savile.
Savile.
But I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I need to go there to figure these things out.
So where we were staying, we ended up staying at the Dilly, which is near Piccadilly Circus, of course. And
what's the deal with that? Why is it called Piccadilly Circus? I always wondered that.
I don't think circuses are like now. Circuses are elephants and lions and tigers and bear. I think that it was more just like a festive environment.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that there were performers there. So like there still is. Like if you go to Piccadilly Square, there's like that woman that's sitting like a statue, which I actually saw the saddest thing ever. I watched her eat a hamburger.
Wow, she was a statue?
I guess she was on break or whatever. But what she did is she turned her box around because she was sitting on a box, put it towards the wall, as close as she could to the wall, facing the wall while eating a burger. I was like,
did she not want people to know?
I think she didn't want to break character.
Oh, so she did it in like super slow bites?
No, like it was just a person with gold paint on their face eating a hamburger facing a wall.
Yeah, I get
squatting
that.
on a box.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that was Darth Vader, and I was like, kind of like looking at him. He was standing on a box that gave him the height of Darth Vader. I'm like, this dude steps off that box. He's like 5 foot.
Yeah. You need to just get Kiss shoes at that point.
Yeah. Like there was a couple things like that. But that's Piccadilly. What I was going to say was, he said Savile Road, which is famous for the haberdashery and tailored clothing and suits. That's where you would go if you were royalty or James Bond to get your suit made.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we were near it because the street wasn't called Savile.
Okay.
But right behind the main street that we were on, where the Dilly Hotel was, there was like just men's stores. Like that's all they had. Man. And it was all fine clothing and suits and stuff.
Did you spend a lot of money or did you
I didn't.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, I really wanted, like when we went there, I was like, I want to get a sweater or something from England. I don't have any good sweaters.
Yeah.
And so I was all excited about that. I didn't get myself one souvenir.
Okay.
So,
Well,
but I'm fine.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So, okay, you got into London and you got in on Thursday, right?
We got in on Friday because we
Friday.
left Thursday night. And we did the red eye.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then we went right to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went over to the Expo. And
is that a good one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was good. Again, I'm going to tell you something. I missed Eliud Kipchoge.
You missed him at the Expo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was there.
So he came. They had that setup, the Abbott setup, where you can run on the treadmill to run his pace.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple people do it. And a matter of fact, Paul Lang from ASICS got on the treadmill, and he did it in jeans and bare feet. But it was kind of funny because he put like pixelated over his feet when he was running on it.
Oh, okay.
He was running in socks.
Nice.
And he said one of the influencers reached out and like, I don't know what shoe you're wearing, but whatever it is, hook me up. I'm like,
is my bare feet.
Meta socks guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we met him and
not Kipchoge.
no,
Paul.
Yeah, Paul Zielinski, and they had the wrong, since Kipchoge beat his record. They had the wrong time up on the wall, and so Kipchoge was taking pictures, and he's like, "Sorry, I ruined your wall."
Oh, really?
To have it. He's got a good sense of humor.
Oh, he's funny. Yeah, you let Kipchoge loose.
Yeah.
He'll throw out some barn burners.
Robbie's been out drinking with him. But yeah,
man, that would be a good time.
the other thing that kind of was weird. So the hall that they had the expo in,
Mm-hmm.
they also were doing a Jurassic Park.
Like a convention or something?
Like not convention, but like you could go and you walk around inside and it would look like the jungle of prehistoric, and they had all the dinosaurs and stuff there.
Was that like a separate thing?
It was a separate thing. But I was like, every time I saw something like that, I'd be like, if Robbie was here.
Yeah.
Meg was kind of disappointed that we didn't go to it. Like, she's like, I wish I wasn't as tired because I would have loved to.
Oh, yeah. It would have been great if they combined the two and had Velociraptor on the Kipchoge treadmill chasing you.
See, this is why you're so good at what you do. That's brilliant.
And
then you get mauled if you.
Yeah. And then you can actually run faster than Kipchoge in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, that would work. But we saw some other people do it. I saw one dude take a fall. That was always fun. Someone was like, hey, why don't you do it? And I'm like, dude.
Why would I risk that?
Yeah, the day before marathon.
That's what I never understood about that, why people would do that. Because I would pull my hamstring in a hot second, or my groin, for sure.
Exactly. And also, like, even if you didn't, just say you just lost a little bit of that oomph in your step.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so that's cool. The expo was pretty legit.
I mean, my favorite thing at the expo was actually, and I should have gotten them now. And looking back, it was like my first day, and I didn't want to blow my proverbial wad on shopping that day.
Right.
But they had these baby blue, like New Balance made in London, like 570s or something like that. I forget what number they were.
Man, that looks cool.
They were so dope. And it's so hard to justify.
I got you.
Buying shoes and stuff like that.
Yeah, shoes. That is, it's like the golden handcuffs or whatever, or the opposite. Where the golden handcuffs is like when you're stuck at a job because it pays so much.
Okay. Yeah, no, it wasn't that.
But this is kind of like we get so many shoes that it's literally, if I see another pair of shoes that I like, it's impossible for me to buy them because my wife would murder me.
Yeah. Hey, look what I got.
She's already about to pay someone to surreptitiously come to our house and burn all this, take every shoe out.
Yeah, I feel for Kimmy, but luckily,
anyways,
I've got support, from
you're
another
right.
person in the house.
So the expo was great. Now, obviously, we had to talk about the Tracksmith Shakeout run, which I'm very sad I wasn't there. It looked amazing.
It was insane. Like, I was a little nervous. We've never promoted something for some place that's so far away
for a world tour.
Yeah, and I think we had like 300 people there.
Wow. I mean, it looked like probably the biggest group run we've done.
Yeah.
It would have to be, right?
It was. And the crazy thing was, I was surprised how many people were actually there for Believe in the Run.
Oh, wow.
Like
a lot of people.
Yeah. I think Tracksmith can pull a large crowd.
Yeah.
All on their own.
And Runner Beans and Hustle podcast. They were also there, right?
Hurdle.
Hurdle. Hustle, Hurdle.
Yeah. They were there, and so many people came up. You have a couple guys that are huge Robbe fans that every time they got a chance to shout out, "Where's Robbe?" I got a "Where's Robbe?"
Man,
like, to the point where it was like, I get it. I get it. Robbe's not here.
Dude, if you just would have picked up some trash, it probably would have scratched their itch.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The mustache, I think it travels.
So I feel like I was thinking about this week. Like,
is that your golden handcuff? You can't get
yeah. No, seriously though, I was like, man, because isn't it sometimes a change? Maybe I want to just go back to having beard, or just not a beard, or whatever.
I think you could go forward with more hair. I don't think you can go backwards.
So that's the thing. If I go full, baby face or whatever, I feel like it would destroy me. Both inside and outside.
It would be like if Yogi Bear went without a tie and a hat.
Yeah, he's just a regular old bear.
Or Mickey Mouse didn't wear those red shorts.
Yeah, I'll still wear the short red shorts on race day. But yeah, I was thinking about that. It's really become part of me now, and I don't know if I can escape it. But anyways,
the other weird thing was, man, the weather we had was insanely gorgeous.
Oh, wow!
I know it's probably not typical London weather.
Can you ask for anything better than that?
It was 50 degrees for the Shakeout run.
Okay.
Sun shining. We ran through London streets. We end up going into this park that's just gorgeous, like ponds with ducks.
It sounds like you're describing the cartoon scenes in Mary Poppins when Bert's like dancing and doing his thing.
It's pretty much
literally
what it was.
sounds
we were
like that.
on endorphin high, like just rolling. And it was kind of funny. In the morning, we were trying to get over there with Emily Abate, and we went to go get some scooters because it was like a mile and a half away, and we're like, we don't need to be doing 6 miles for a Shakeout run.
Yeah.
3 miles there, 3 miles back. So we tried to get it thing, and Megan was the only one that had a license, so she gives her the license.
Like, scooters like we have here, like bird scooters?
Yeah, like the electric rental scooters.
Like that you get off the sidewalk, not like a motorcycle scooter.
No. Yeah,
okay.
like the stick in the wheels.
Okay. But why'd you have to give your license?
Because the app wanted to make sure that you had a like they're verifying your identity.
Okay.
So we're like, well, we'll just all use the same license. So Emily put hers in, and she used Megan's, and so then when Megan went to try to use hers, it's like it's already been used. So we're like, oh, we're screwed. And now we have because we thought we'd scooter over, which should only take a couple minutes.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we're probably going to get there late now. So we're like, can't be late. And we said we'd be there at 8:30. So Megan and I are like, okay, we'll just run over. So Megan and I run over, and I laughingly say to Emily and her friend, we're going to beat you there.
Uh-huh.
We did.
Really?
Yeah. Because they had to go by the street.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
They had to go by the streets.
No way.
And also, for some reason, the scooters wouldn't let them park on that street.
Oh, so they had out of the zone or something?
Yeah, they had to park someplace else and then walk over.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, the turnout was amazing. They had the shoe there, the Elliott runner.
Yeah.
So after the gorgeous run through this park, which one weird thing did happen. I leaned up again, and if anybody in England is listening to this and they know what this bush is, there's like high hedges around the park.
Uh-huh.
And you can see in the reel I did at one point, people are coming through this hedge. So I was like backed up with my camera, with my legs, bare legs, because I had shorts on, touching the hedge. It felt like little cactus needles. Or have you ever been around fiberglass? Where like there's little pieces of fiberglass and you can't see them or pull them out. They're just like needles in your leg. That night, my legs were just like covered on the back by what felt like needles. Now the weird sensation was, as the night went on, they kind of drifted down towards my ankles.
Whoa.
So it was trippy.
Dude, when you first said I leaned against a bush, I thought you were going to say like you went to Hogwarts. Like you found platform 9 3/4.
Hey, every time we went to a train station, I was like, what's this? Which?
You don't know until you try.
Which actually, I'll get to the magic later at the train station in just a second.
That is crazy though. I wonder what that plant would be. I wonder, if someone knows that's listening or watching, comment below.
Yeah. So after the run, I went back and I talked to Matt Taylor, who's the founder of Tracksmith.
Mm-hmm.
And we went over the Elliott Runner, which we're going to put up in the video on YouTube.
Did you run in that, by the way?
I have not run it.
Oh, okay.
But we dissected the shoe and I felt it and did all the like things that I can do without throwing it on. We should be getting samples soon. It's weird. I think they had my size, but it wasn't a finished like final production model. Right. So they didn't want me to grab that.
Makes sense.
So we went over the shoe. It was really cool. The crowd was amazing. We had a really good time. People lined up around the block. You saw like a line to get like a tote bag and a Tracksmith hat.
Yeah.
And people were super happy. I think they were happy with.
You meant they were lined up around the block to meet the Thomas and Megan Murray.
I mean, it was crazy. You know what was interesting? It was people from other countries who traveled to London to do the Shakeout run to meet up with Believe in the Run.
Wait, they weren't running London Marathon?
No, they were. Like there was a guy from Japan.
Okay.
Who was running, he's doing all the majors.
But they had, I see what you're saying.
So he came from Japan, but came to this Shakeout run because he wanted to meet us.
That's cool.
So that was really cool.
That's cool.
And there was other like that. There's one guy who wrote us an email. I don't know if you saw it, but it took him 10 hours. He wasn't running London Marathon.
Okay, right.
Just 10 hours to get there, just to do the Shakeout run.
That's wild.
And he had a good time. He was happy he met us.
Man.
Sent us the email. I was like blown away. I was like, I wouldn't do 10 hours of travel for, like, that's basically me getting to London to run the London Marathon. I wouldn't do it for anything else.
That's amazing.
But cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, everybody had a good time. We ended up doing, like I said, the video. We'll shoot that out. And then for the rest of the day, we tried to just chill out.
Okay.
And
you had some pizza?
Take it easy. Right? Yeah. Megan and I went to Piccadilly Circus, and it was kind of weird because I can't imagine this place during COVID because it's so packed wall to wall, arm to arm.
Oh, really?
Like, it's a touristy area where we were.
Yeah.
Grabbing the pizza. We went to Pilgrim Pizza. And it was so packed. And then we walked through Trafalgar Square, and there's this dude, like, he was an Asian guy who was singing. Like, people thought I put Elvis on my story. It's not Elvis. It's a guy.
I didn't see that one.
I'll play it for you. But the dude sounded just like Elvis for this song. And then he did his next song was Elton John.
Okay.
And that sounded just like Elton John.
Like both voices sounded like it.
Yeah. Like he did it. He could sing and sound like the person that he was singing.
That's amazing.
Like, yeah.
That's like the dude from the new lead singer of Journey. When the guy was a karaoke singer in like Southeast Asia. And then he's
was on a midnight train.
Yeah.
Going anywhere.
Yeah, he really was. And he sounds exactly like Steve. What's his name? Steve. Why am I blanking out? The lead
Steve.
singer.
It's I think he just goes by Steve. Steve something. Yeah. What happened to him? Steve Perry?
Steve Perry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What
happened to Steve Perry? Why did he stop doing Journey?
I think he just passed away.
Oh, that would end the career.
We should look that up, but I'm pretty like 99% sure that's why.
That would make sense.
So
yeah,
but the new guy sounds exactly the same. Anyways,
so the Friday night before the Shakeout run, by the way, I'm going to bed, and so the Shakeout's on Saturday. I have one of those things where you wake up in the middle of the night sweating in the middle of a panic attack. Like I'm having high anxiety. Like, I don't know what happened, if it was the travel, the time difference, but I was in total panic. Like, I'm not talking like I'm worried if I can run the marathon. I'm talking like, oh my God, life and meaning and
oh my gosh,
everything.
Dude.
So I freak out. Getting to the Shakeout run cleared that up, and I was fine, whatever. So we go to dinner, and I'm just talking to Meg I'm a basket. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Got to figure this stuff out. So anyway, we go to dinner, go to bed, wake up the next day, and we're going to go to the start line.
Mm-hmm.
And this stuff was happening all week. Like, we were running into people that out of like an entire city of people, how does this happen? So we wanted to meet up with Paul Zielinski and Paul Lang. Paul Zielinski works for New Balance. Paul Lang works for ASICS. They're both running the London Marathon. We had plans. We're like, hey, we're going to be at this train station around this time, and we'll see you there. We won't see you there, but we're going to head to the corrals.
Right.
We get there. it ends up that there's an earlier train than we had told them that we were going to be on. But we're like, screw it. Let's just get on the earlier train. We're here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be waiting and then have a packed train and we can't get on. So not only do we get on, we get into these fantastic seats because I guess we were there early. And when we get on, I turn around and I hear Paul getting on the train. So this train had several cars. They could have gotten on at any car in the train. They got on right behind us.
Wow.
On the train. Meanwhile, there's people that recognize us, like people coming by going, hey, it's Believe in the Run, and like, hey, I watch your videos. It's interesting because like people will talk about different stuff. They'll be like, I watch your videos. I listen to your podcast.
I still don't believe any of this. This is why I know I'm in a simulation because this is not real.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, how is this possible? But what was great was
whoever's coding these people into
our
lives.
I feel like it's The Sims. But it was kind of cool. And after we got off the train, there was a walk to the corrals. And so I talked to the guy that, one guy tapped me on the shoulder and was like, hey, I watch the videos and this stuff. And, we talked for a bit. Paul, Meg, and I all went up to our corrals. And it was just surreal how many people like were around that would come say hello and stuff like that. It was neat. And then I ended up being in the same corral as Novitzer, who I always thought was from Europe for some reason.
This is someone from Instagram?
Yeah, he's kind of like a Ben Johnson.
Okay.
He loves Nike, Adidas. He likes the super shoes. He posts a lot of that stuff. And I always thought he was from Europe for some reason. A lot of times he doesn't show pictures of himself. He mostly does like shoe stuff.
Right.
He's just recently started posting
so
pictures.
Where's he from?
He also came to the Shakeout run the day before.
Okay.
He's from Mexico.
Oh.
And yeah, and so we get into the corral. It turns out he was also at the Woodlands when we were there.
Weird.
So I'm in the same. He comes to the Shakeout run.
Yeah.
Don't expect to see him again. I see him now he's in my corral.
Yeah.
We talk and kind of like chill out. His knee wasn't feeling well, so he didn't go for like a fast time.
Yeah.
And we're just chilling. Another guy comes up to me. He's like this, guy from London who watches our videos. And
I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, just like a ton of people that you just randomly ran into.
Yeah,
that's awesome. By the way, if you're listening to this or watching,
we love this stuff.
we love if you come up to us and talk to us, because some people are like, oh, I didn't want to
bother you.
I'm like, no, definitely bother me, because it validates that I'm not crazy in what I'm doing with my life, and
that somebody's listening.
And I also still don't believe that people actually listen or watch this.
Yeah.
Because it's so crazy. It just seems so crazy to me.
Also, I know I'm jumping back and forth. This is why we need Megan. But did I mention that 40 Runs came with a group of his cohorts to the Shakeout run?
Well, you didn't mention that, but I know. Yeah.
And I'm going to give him a little shout out too, because I really enjoyed meeting him and spending some time talking to him. I don't know, maybe he'll become our European correspondent or something. But
yeah.
Cool dude.
Okay.
And he wasn't running London Marathon, so he just purely came for the Shakeout.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so the race was a little weird because there's 3 different starts. So Meg and Paul Zielinski were in the first corral, which was blue. And so they went off. There's 3, and you don't meet up until the 3rd mile.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So even though Paul Zielinski and Paul Lang run around the same time,
right?
Paul Lang was in with me.
Okay.
And Meg and Paul Zielinski were in that one. Paul went off before me, so there was a horn that went off, and you started. And then I was like, okay, they're loading up our corral now. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't. I was like, is there gonna be a horn or something? And people were like, no, you just
go
start running.
Oh,
so you're like, oh, okay, and you hit your watch and you go.
Did you have your watch ready?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
I definitely wouldn't.
Well, you could have stood there.
I would just forget about it. I always start mine 5 minutes too early, and then it dies off, and then it closes out. I'm like, son of a bitch.
That is the worst. But yeah, so you take off, and I mean, it's so you run through these quaint, beautiful little. London is so clean too.
Really?
So clean.
I just wouldn't think that. I'm thinking it still looks like Oliver Twist era. There's just soot covering everyone's faces.
They make it embarrassing to be in the United States. Their city was so clean.
Dude, can't even believe. Imagine if we run Tokyo, how jarring that will be.
Well, I forgot to tell you, in the morning when we were going on our way to the train, like, first off, someone told us just follow the bibs. There was nobody walking the direction we were going, Megan. So we were like kind of questioning what we were doing. And then we went by that Piccadilly area that I was telling you about earlier. It's touristy. It has casinos. Mm-hmm. There was people.
Oh man, I might not have made it to the race.
there was these pretty scary looking dudes hanging outside the casino. Like, I'm talking tracksuits.
Oh, like from like a Guy Ritchie film?
Yeah, it definitely was the Guy Ritchie crowd.
Like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Dudes hanging out with tracksuits on, talking to people who were in suits. Like, and I'm not talking like I'm going to my financial job suits. I'm talking like maybe like leather jackets with a white t-shirt suit thing. So we're walking to the train station, we're seeing that, and it's just like they're smoking cigarettes and eating Danishes and stuff. And this is 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah, they didn't go to bed the night before.
Anyway, I'll take you back to the course. So the course it's absolutely beautiful, especially like it reinforced my imagination of what England is like. Like when you watch the Harry Potter movies and you're like, oh, there's like little alleys and stores that you could sneak. They exist.
Diagon Alley, but in real life.
Yeah. Man. And when you start the race, it's more looks like residential, because you're wondering when you're in downtown London, like, where's everybody living? And this kind of like was like their equivalent to us being in Canton or whatever.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And what did you have to run on any cobblestone? I don't know. Is that a thing?
I do think we ran over some, but it was so well paved.
Not like
it wasn't
Baltimore's.
It wasn't like the ankle breakers. It was like, there's some bumps. Like if you're on a bike, you probably feel a little bit more.
Yeah.
But running, it was no problem. No issue at all. As a matter of fact, there's only maybe 1 or 2 dicey spots where there was like some crumble pavement the entire 26 miles.
Oh, wow.
And it's like a tour. It really is like a tour. Like we go, I forget what the name of it is. There's a wharf that you run through, and it's got the Cutty Sark ship that you see. I saw that
picture.
On that.
That's cool.
You go over London Bridge. That's where
that did not fall down, nor did you, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's but 40 was on there, and he yells out, "Hey, believe in the run!" And I'm like, it just was such a lift.
Yeah,
because you're running, and to hear somebody shout your name, or like a lot of people were wearing their name on their shirt. So I could always tell where I was around. Like this one kid, Angus, like, because everybody's like, "Go, Angus!"
That's kind of.
And
cool.
then I saw my pictures,
and
it
wasn't the lead. It wasn't the guitarist for AC/DC.
No. But yeah, and the other thing was, it's such a deep field that the entire time you are running with people. Like I was never like, but now sometimes you get in some dead space.
Yeah.
There's no dead space.
But it's not too like crowded either.
There was a couple times where you're just like, be patient. It's 26 miles. You don't need to run over this guy or shoot through these people.
Right.
Like if you lose a half a second waiting for them to reopen back up, because it was a little annoying in the beginning because it was so crowded that people were kind of like, you'd like see an opening and then you'd watch it kind of slowly close as like the people, and you're like, what are you doing?
And how was the crowds were good?
Insane.
Really?
Insane.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, if considering it's probably like the equivalent of the New York City Marathon.
Well, that's what, I was talking to Danny afterwards, who's run London and New York. And he's like, I love London. It's a great race. He goes, New York's even more insane.
What?
He goes, New York's the best.
Dude, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah. It was awesome. And you go under tunnels. You go like, you see the like famous buildings that you've seen.
Yeah.
You run by
Big
the
Ben?
London Eye.
Big Ben?
Yeah. You know what's weird though? I didn't actually see Big Ben. I see it in my photos afterwards.
Oh, really?
But I didn't see it. Like when we were running, I wasn't like, oh, there's Big Ben.
That's funny.
I got a little disoriented with where I was in the city because of the way the course works.
Yeah.
But yeah, the finish, as you come around, first off, so as far as my race strategy goes, I was hoping to run right around 8 flat until the halfway point, and then drop it in negative split. If you see my splits, I pretty much ran 7:59s the whole time. Like it was like a second off here and there, which I like. So when like people were like, "Oh, you ran it so smart," I was like, "No, I was actually trying to run it faster." Yeah, Meg though ran really well, and she was a little disappointed because she wanted to get a PR.
Yeah.
But
Was that the goal for her? I was kind of wondering. Was it just a PR or was there a certain time?
Anything faster than her current
Okay.
pace time was her goal.
Which was at 2:49, right?
2:48 is her.
2:40 and change.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. She's gonna kill you.
But I mean, like, what was it for real though? 2:48 and what?
It's the posters upstairs. I don't even think about the seconds. I'm like 2:48.
Yeah, I should know that because it sits across from my desk.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah, so she wanted to go a little faster. This was emotional for her. Her dad's from London,
right?
And he just passed away.
Yeah.
So coming through.
Okay, can I interject here real quick? I forget who I think it was Jarrett. We were talking about how crazy it is that her dad's name is Ian.
And Hurricane Ian.
Hurricane Ian came through Florida, where her dad lived.
Yeah.
But not like really hit Jacksonville so much.
It was kind of Jacksonville.
Yeah. It was kind of Jacksonville, right? But then also South Carolina, where her brother lives. And then through here, essentially. Yeah. At the same time, exact same time, you're in London. Like, how weird is that?
It's crazy.
It's super. Another simulation.
Yeah. And she obviously was emotional about it. And it's funny because here's a flip in the psychology of running marathons between Meg and myself. I'm usually hard on myself for my time. Like, I'll be like, I think I could have done better. I blew it. I didn't have a great race. And I honestly, going over to London, I was like, there's no way I'm not running sub 3:30. Like, no big deal.
Yeah.
I ended up running 3:32:17.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the course was long though.
It seemed very long, like, because both of your GPSs were like 26.9, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Mine was 26.8, pretty much.
Yeah, but if you think about it, that's an extra, even if
4 minutes.
Yeah, but even if you give yourself, like, say it was like 26.4, like most marathons or whatever, it's still, you would have ran sub 3:30 and Meg would have been pretty close to her.
But like when I finished, I was like, oh, cool. I just ran a marathon in London. That was incredible.
That's good mindset.
It was so cool. I loved it. And
it finished at the Palace or something?
Okay. It's probably one of the most, it's got to be one of the best finishes.
Really?
You come around, I don't know what they call that big red road that goes all the way to Buckingham Palace.
Okay.
But you basically jump up into that and like they take such good care of their stuff. Like the white marble or whatever and then they have gold statues on the top of it. So you come in, it's like the Colosseum.
Whoa.
Like back when the Colosseum was well taken care of.
Yeah.
Like white with the gold statues, perfectly manicured park, iron wrought fences that are perfectly painted. You come around and you hit that and you can see the end is the palace up in front and you're coming down that road.
Oh, that's cool.
And you see the finish line coming up. It's just insane. It is. Because you basically are coming from one direction and you hit this big curve and that big curve takes you right into that.
Oh, cool.
So you don't see it and then you see it.
That's awesome.
And then you're like, I'm done. But yeah.
That's pretty great.
It was pretty cool. It was like I said, like for me, I was like cool with my time. I was just like, whatever. I finished. Who gets to run a major like this? This is amazing. I was very like in the moment of like, this is cool. I gave it everything I had.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't gonna like how sometimes you're like I think I could do better. Yeah, you probably could do some stuff better. But for me, I was like I finished and I was like I just gave 100% effort and I'm cool with it. Whatever. If it had been a 4-hour marathon, 5-hour,
right?
Whatever, cool with it. Yeah. Meg was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting again simulation. I cross the finish line. I go through. I'm looking for Meg or whatever. Not seeing her. But I run into, like, I look over to my right and a woman I ran the Trans Rockies with.
Which is 10 years ago?
Yeah, standing right there. And I'm like, hey, I said, didn't you run with, like, Mary Haskins or whatever? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, what's your name? She's like, Laura. And we just started talking for a little bit in the finish. It was insane.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then even more weird. Okay, so you got to figure there's 40,000 runners finishing up and we're all exiting. I can't find Meg, so I'm like, I'll just walk back to the hotel because there's only a couple blocks from the finish. And I get hey, Thomas. It's Meg standing in the middle of the street. like on the other side of the street. Like,
I was gonna hopefully not in the
yeah,
middle.
not in the middle,
Just
but
disorient it.
yeah, she's right there. So we met up easily without even trying.
Nice.
And
See, who needs cell phones?
I know.
Yeah,
but
back to payphones.
Yeah, Paul Zielinski, however, he threw up the entire time.
Oh,
Yeah, and apparently, so you got a plastic bag when you finish because they don't give you your finisher shirt until the finish, which I left mine there because, no offense, London, but the shirt sucked. I mean, it was bad. I'm never gonna wear it, so I wasn't gonna pack it.
Who's the sponsor of that one?
Just
kidding.
Yeah, it wasn't the brand of shirt that sucked. It was more that it was a bright purple shirt, but the design on it was like something you'd never wear. Like it wasn't good.
Just get a design. Pay a cool designer $500, people.
Yeah.
Like that's all you have to do.
So
it's not that difficult.
I didn't mention to what Megan's finishing time. It was 2:53. She was the third female American in the open field, which is just insane. Like overall,
that's crazy.
58th woman overall.
Really?
Yeah, with a race of 40,000 participants.
Meg, I wish you were here to talk about it.
Yeah.
Is she listening, do you think?
I mean,
think she's gonna listen to this?
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. Well, Meg, I wish you were here to talk about this. Next week we're gonna have you do your full recap.
But so Paul Zielinski's thrown up, and like they gave you a plastic bag.
Yeah.
So he was using that to throw up, and apparently he was walking with it, and it was leaking. People were like,
oh man, dude.
But it took him. So they had a quarter-mile walk back to their hotel. May have been less than that or more than that. I'm not sure exactly. It took him 2 hours and a half just to walk back to his hotel.
Whoa.
So Megan.
So I'm guessing he didn't PR.
No, but he still did sub 3.
Really?
Both Paul Lang. You got to give Paul Lang credit because that dude went and drank beers. Like he did the Robbe training plan for the night before the race.
Yeah,
and he sub 3.
Sick.
Without, I don't even think he really trained for the marathon. Jeez. And Meg's like, well, if you train, why don't you know how Meg is?
Yeah.
Like this is so disappointing. You could be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Can't imagine what she thinks about me.
But I think you're fine. Like, but so here's a pro tip for you. Mm-hmm. Your medal from the London Marathon is like Bitcoin when Bitcoin didn't shit the bed. It's worth a lot. Like, so
you
we
sold it on the street?
No, we showered. We got dressed. I called texted the other Pauls and Jen that, hey, we're going to go grab a burger. We get to the restaurant and Meg didn't even want to take her medals. She's like, why are we bringing our medals? I was like, so one day let's Jarrett Weisberg this, wear them around.
You go full runner.
So we get there and she like feels foolish. So we just put our medals on the table. Waiter comes around and goes, you ran the marathon. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, that means you get a free burger and a pint. So we're like, so this is starting off well. And this is not like a Burger King. This is like, these were gourmet burgers, like beautiful, big, fat, hand patted, delicious burgers. Okay. My mouth was watering talking about it.
Let's end the podcast.
And the pints, bud, they're like the real pints, like the big pints.
Yeah, not the one pint glasses in America where they make the glass extra thick, so it's actually only 12 ounces. True story.
Here's and you can verify that with Robbe. He's worked at quite a few places.
I've worked at bars where they do that. Where did they do that?
So we get in there, and traditionally Meg and I have a vodka martini after a marathon if we're feeling good enough. And both of us were feeling good enough, so we ordered a couple of martinis. A martini over in London. I don't understand. This is the home of James Bond.
Yeah, this is confusing to me because I saw you post about this.
I could understand if James Bond drank gin martinis and they brought us a gin martini. I'd still be like, cool. Meg probably wouldn't drink that either, but I would drink both of them. They brought out 2 espresso martinis.
So you just said a martini.
Yeah.
And you weren't at a Starbucks.
Right. And he kind of gave us a couple weird looks. And he's like, well, yeah, like this martini. And I'm like, he got an Italian accent.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was espresso.
It wasn't Italian. And anyway, so I'm like, it was funny because the guy was probably Pakistani, but and I kept saying, no, like, like I kept pointing out, I was like, vodka, vermouth, that. And he's martini. And I'm like, yeah, great. And when he came back, Meg was like, we just got espresso martinis. Now, meanwhile, I'll probably enjoy the espresso martini anyway.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of Jarrett,
I had caffeine in the morning. I had 3 Morton caffeine gels during the marathon. I'm cracked up.
You're jackhammering away inside that chest cavity. Yeah.
Anyway, so I ended up drinking beer. Meg got a Prosecco.
So did you drink the espresso martinis?
I tried to, but I was like, realized I was starting to get jittery and one eye was twitching.
Oh, man.
So I was like, I can't. And then we ended up talking to like somebody there, and we're like, can we just have chilled vodka in a glass with olives? And she's like, oh, dirty martini. I'm like, yeah. So that's what you have to order if you're over in England.
I still don't understand. Somebody explain in the comments how this makes any sense, that when you order a martini, it comes as an espresso martini.
And where I would
that had to just be where you were.
But no, it was, the restaurant was called Bill's. It was right in Soho. But if I consider, like, James Bond is the father of martinis. London has to be like, where was he ordering all these? Because every time I go to Europe, I can't get a decent martini. Maybe
that's why he loved martinis, because he can't get them at home. He just order them when he's abroad on missions.
He's getting all jacked up. So anyway, we.
By the way, I heard you mention Soho. Did you see any werewolves walking around in the rain?
We were there like
in Soho
in the daytime.
Oh,
and
so that makes sense.
The weather was pretty good. So
no,
yeah, they're probably hanging out
next time
someplace else. And everywhere we went, by the way, here's another pro tip. You go to the restaurant, they'll ask you, do you have a reservation? You say no, and they'll go, well, we have one table for you, but you can only sit there for an hour to an hour and a half. And you're like, no problem. Their service sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, because it's already built into their tip is built into the check. Yeah. Like, it literally took, there was a half an hour of waiting to get served, except for in one place, this place called Bombay Bustle, which kicked ass. But I'll get to that in a second.
Shout out to Bombay Bustle.
Yeah. So the medal got us the free burger and the free beers.
Yeah.
Paul Lang ends up heading there. We end up going out, and we're trying to find another place to eat. I didn't know this. Paul Lang is a franchise restaurant connoisseur.
Oh, like TGI Fridays?
Yeah, he loves chain restaurants.
Dang, I need to hang out with him.
No, dude, we ended up at Hard Rock Cafe.
No way.
So again, we're walking in, and we're like, hey, he wants to buy the shirts. He's collecting all the shirts. So we walk in, we get to Hard Rock Cafe in Piccadilly Square. It's a hopping.
Dude, people are probably like, what are you doing right now?
Right. I've already eaten a burger. Yeah. I've already had like 2 beers and part of an espresso martini and a regular martini. And we go up, and the guy's like, it's going to be an hour wait. And Meg goes, I'm not waiting an hour. I ran a marathon today. He goes, wait, you ran the marathon today? And we go, yeah. And we pulled out our medals. He goes, I got a table for you right now.
What the? Dude, you're flexing.
Might as well have been the superstar.
Man.
So he takes us down. We get a table right away. And I have to say, I was being a snob. I was like, Hard Rock Cafe. I'm eating at a chain restaurant in London. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
The wings were really good.
I mean, if you just want like some of that food, that comfort food, like, you could do worse.
And what was nice is when they brought the beers, they were big beers. And if you ordered like a Bud Light, which Paul Lang did, it came in a Bud Light glass. So you knew that one's yours.
Right.
The other beers all had their own glasses.
I will say, in defense of the chain restaurants, like, there's something nice about, say, like a Texas Roadhouse, right? When you go there, you know you're getting a bloomin' onion. It's going to be delicious. You know that the bread is, like, I don't know, covered in butter.
Consistency.
It's going to be good. And the steaks are going to be good. They're not going to be the most amazing steak, but they're going to be good. When you go, because my biggest pet peeve is when you go to like a nice restaurant, sometimes it hits, and then other times you're like, this isn't actually as good as
like duck liver.
Right. Or like, but you know what you're going to get, and it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I have to, with all my snobbery, it was pretty good, and it was enjoyable. It was what we needed. I got to see it across from Ginger Spice's High Heels. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
You know what? Is the Hard Rock Cafe still in downtown Baltimore?
I don't think so.
That closed, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Because I remember they used to have Johnny Greenwood's guitar from Radiohead in there, and I was always like, man, I wonder what happened to that.
Here's another thing I learned about Hard Rock Cafe. Yeah. Did you know that it's owned by, all except for 2 of the restaurants are owned by Native Americans?
Really?
That you know how they got the casino?
Yeah.
And then once they started making money with that, they bought up all the restaurants, and
Whoa.
the amount of memorabilia they own. Every once in a while, they auction that stuff off, and they make a mint off that stuff.
Did not know that. That's pretty wild. I'd read this one story about Planet Hollywood that was like wild. The whole when that started in the 90s, it was just a crazy time.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. Like what a time to be alive. That was just a weird, like they would show up at these places randomly.
And I have to say, now looking back where we are now and where we were then, the 90s were cool as shit.
I don't want to ever be that person be like, when I was a kid, but I mean, they're pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Like it was pretty rad. There weren't that many school shootings. There was like a whole, it was like,
yeah, it was like this lull between the craziness of the 80s and then just the whatever.
Yeah.
I guess won't get it too far into that.
Yeah.
But.
So we finished up there. We called it a night, and we got up the next day. We had a chance to go back over to Tracksmith and like wanted to see Moss before we left and stuff, and check in there and get our posters.
Oh yeah, get your poster stamped.
Yeah,
which is so cool. They do that.
It is cool. And at first I was like, no big deal. Like when Meg got her Boston one, I was like, oh, that's cool. But it's the same reason that Paul Lang wants to go to every Hard Rock cafe now. Like I said to Meg, it's like, because New York, their place is going to be in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Which is going to be hard to get to from where we're staying in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's a shame, now you've got London and you've got Boston. It's a shame you're not going to get to New York. She goes, what are you talking about?
You're getting. And
she's
New
like,
York, dude.
We're going to Tracksmith.
Yeah, 100%.
And getting our poster. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now she's collecting, and she's got two. I got the London one, but it was cool. I got a chance to talk to this photographer, Jason, who was there. I met this guy, Hoffy, who's a fan and also friends with Jason. And we just chatted for a little bit.
Nice.
Call it a day. Meg and I went like around the shopping areas and looked. And of course, I stopped at Nike. Why?
Because it's Nike?
Well, because Robbe, you've shown me that reels with robots in it.
Oh, yeah.
are the way to go.
Oh, is that where that was from?
Yeah, it's from Nike
okay.
Town. So we went into the Nike Town, and they have a really cool collection of clothes right now that is like all sustainable stuff, like the fleeces. It's probably stuff that like it reminded me of like stuff that audio equipment used to get packed in. But anyway, now it's clothing, and you're going to pay a premium for it because it's recyclable and lower carbon footprint than regular fleece.
Yeah.
So we go in there, tons of cool stuff. But again, I'm not in shopping mode. Like I'm not wanting to purchase. May got a sweatshirt that was made of that recycled stuff. But I did love seeing Bill. What does Bill stand for? It's like, I forget. Integrate. It cleans shoes. It's a robot that's supposed to clean shoes.
Yeah.
Of course, right now it's just a show. Like it's on a loop, so it's not really.
Okay. Did they have? Was it in store though? The machine.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't know what we're talking about, watch it on our Instagram.
Yeah. So it's a robot arm that basically takes it, runs it through these polishing laces, and then runs it through a soapy water.
It honestly
brush.
just looks like someone from the Jetsons, and something that's completely unnecessary. But
yeah, but they had a large display for it that took up a ton of real estate on the first floor of Nike Town. And they did have one thing that was cool. Like, you know how we like to heat press stuff?
Yeah.
They had like a whole section on every floor, depending on what sport you're in, that had the heat press decals that you could choose from to do your custom
that's cool.
pressing. So you could, if you wanted to get a London Marathon Nike jacket instead of the New Balance one, you could have purchased a Nike jacket, put it on the thing, and they press it with all the London stuff.
That's kind of rad.
Yeah, and they had a ton of cool decals. I thought about that, but I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Wait around. But, so that was cool. And then we went to a StockX store.
Okay.
Which is what you'd think it is. They had some.
I didn't know they had stores.
You're in Soho in
whatever.
London, yeah. And so they basically had the shoes. Like I sent you one of them, but they had the shoes.
Is that the Gucci
Christian Dior. Dunk
Dior.
Low.
Yeah.
But they had the shoe there. It doesn't have a price tag on it. It's got a QR code. So you snap the QR code and it tells you could either bid on it or pay the.
So you just takes you to StockX?
Yeah. But you're in the store, so you can.
You can.
If you wanted to, you
could take it.
You buy now and.
That's such a wild concept.
And go out.
Okay.
So Moss had given me the heads up that they had the Christian Dior Dunk Low there. And I was like, I'll go and check out the rest of these things. And it was $6,800.
That's crazy.
For that shoe. And I'm like think about all the shoes that we have. And I'm like, this is insane. Like somebody is going to pay to flex.
Yeah.
$6,800.
I mean, didn't you say that was like the price of your first 3 cars or something?
Yeah, it was 2. I could have gotten my first 2 cars would have.
I'm pretty sure.
Actually, yeah, the first 3 cars, probably if I totaled them up, it would have been around there.
What were your first 3 cars?
A Honda Accord from 1979.
Uh-huh.
A Chevy Chevette.
Nice.
And then I think was a Fox next.
Volkswagen Fox.
Might be the Volkswagen Fox.
That was my first car.
That was the best.
Yeah, I love that car.
I
want to get that. I want to get a Volkswagen Fox again.
I want the style to go back to that style.
It's so cool. I love it.
Like it was really boxy.
Yeah.
And I saw someone driving a convertible Rabbit from back that time the other day, and I was like, "That's such a cool looking car."
I think mine were all it was a Fox, Jetta, GTI. Those are my first 3.
I had a GTI as well.
Yeah.
Called my poor man's Porsche. And crashed it.
Yeah. I crashed mine too. Dude,
what color was yours?
White.
That was red.
Okay.
Yeah.
You won't even believe how I crashed. Actually, you will believe how I crashed this car.
All right, let me hear it.
So I know we're getting long, but
yeah, we're gonna go longer.
So this was I had a GTI. It had the teardrop alloy rims, and it was nice. And I was just going bowling with my friends, and I was it was raining. I was looking for a parking spot in the parking lot that was, by the way, completely empty except for 10 cars. But I was just driving around.
Don't tell me you're doing donuts.
No. Okay. Driving slowly, 10 miles an hour, but looking at the row of cars, and I was just boom. And literally there's one curb with a tree in the middle in the whole parking lot. And I hit that dead straight on right middle of the grill.
So wait a second. Was there any drinking involved or anything?
No, not yet. Okay. I was going to drink a pitcher of beer after that, which I still did. And then just left the car there and picked it up the next day. And, but it was completely smashed in, and just ended up selling it for $800.
Mm. So I have a similar to my first car, the Honda Accord. I was driving with a friend to high school at the time in California. And I did one of those things where you're going 40 miles per hour, and then you realize you're missing your turn. So I yanked the wheel to make my turn. The car went up on 2 wheels, went over an embankment.
Whoa.
That was part of the school, going into the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm up on 2 wheels. I'm freaking out. The car, falls back on all 4 wheels. I look over at my friend and go, phew. And I went to put my foot on the brake, and I hit the gas. The car accelerated right into a tree.
Dude.
And did the same thing. It looked like it was hugging the tree, the fenders were bent straight out.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's how I hit it. Yeah. Back to London.
Yeah, we go out to dinner, and again, we find an Indian restaurant we like, and they're like, do you have a reservation? We're like, no, and they're like, you can only have the table for an hour. Is that okay? If you guys can serve in an hour, we can eat in an hour. We get there. They are the nicest people. This Bombay Bustle, nicest people in the world. They make their own. They had this cocktail where they took the bourbon. They make their own. Was it pecan infused whiskey?
Yeah. Wow.
He said they just muddle the nuts and they let it sit for a while, and it soaks that up, and they make their own sugar bitters with sour and stuff like that. And then they took a gold sheet of rice. It's like rice paper, but it looks like gold foil.
Yeah.
They put it over your cup, and then they pull out a flask and pour it over the top, and it melts the gold into your cup over a nice big block of.
It looked amazing. I saw you post that.
One of the most delicious cocktails I've ever had. And then on top of that, the best samosa I have ever had at any restaurant anywhere. The food was insanely delicious. Man.
So we know where to go next time.
Chicken tiki masala. It wasn't chicken tiki masala. It was chicken tiki. I forget, but it's one of them. Yeah, it was really good. Everything was delicious.
Nice.
Cocktails. Megan and I had a great night. It was a perfect way to finish off
That sounds like a
London.
pretty good trip. I'm not gonna lie.
It was. I have to say, up there, it's a. I love. I. There's no place I think I've loved more than London when I go to visit it.
Wow. Okay.
Like I could. If you said, "Hey, you got to go live in London," oh, that's the other cool thing. Matt Taylor from Tracksmith.
Yeah.
Not only is he going to open the store there and it's permanent in London, he's going to live there for a year with his family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like to make sure that the store
That's pretty
is
rad.
done right. So he's moving there for a year.
Okay.
I'm like, if they opened up one in Baltimore, he'd probably send a different employee.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
There's no.
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm sorry. For some reason, I got to go to the one in Tokyo.
Which lowest level employee do we have? You can run this one.
You call it. Hey, Thomas, you want to help us out down there? But yeah, no, it was incredible. Like the whole trip, and even their airport is. They had like in their airport, they have like Christian Dior, Gucci, Prada, all that stuff.
Here we got our top tier stuff is Annie Ann's pretzels.
Yeah,
Which I'm not.
I did have
complaining.
one of those.
Did you?
I did on the way out.
Yeah.
Because it's carb loading. But yeah, no, like it's pretty spectacular. Just the engineering and the way that they do stuff over there, it's just spectacular.
Sweet. Wow. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I guess we should probably wrap it up since we're going on an hour here.
We can. I mean, if you think this is long, just think about our New York recap.
Oh yeah,
Because that'll be
ridiculous.
That'll be all three of us.
I mean, yeah, that's gonna be a good time. We might have to have. No, we don't need Jarrett to pop in for that one.
Oh,
Maybe we'll.
I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
Jared has huge fans.
Really? Oh, don't say
over
that.
in
Don't say
Europe,
that
too.
out loud.
He does. Jared's got fans, man. Like the Hoffy
All
guy.
that-
Did you see you saw the reel?
Yeah, I
or
did.
not, the story.
Yeah.
Where Hoffy was telling.
All that time on Reddit and Instagram is finally paying off for him.
Yeah, Hoffy
in,
was like,
in what way I don't know, but
"Your wide foot. I need those wide foot reviews." Yeah, it was awesome. Hey, just before we go though, like, how's your running coming?
pretty good. This week's been a little, just like fitting it in has been rough.
But you got an 18 mile in, or did
12-mile last Saturday with Jarrett. That was really nice. Jarrett and Allie. And then just this week, like I've just been having trouble falling asleep. So I'm not being able to get up in the morning like when I want to run. So
like what's going on at night that you can't sleep?
I'm just not like used to going to bed at like 10:30. Sounds it's crazy. And then also like the other night when I was going to bed, like my sump pump, I noticed randomly was like not working.
Uh-oh.
And so it was during all that rain. But what had happened is that I knocked the cord loose when I was doing stuff in the basement and in the back, like arranging things.
So an easy fix.
Yeah, but at the time I didn't think it was because I just like didn't notice it. I was like, holy crap, I'm gonna be pumping water out like with a shop vac all night long.
How embarrassing is it too when you call somebody to come help you and they're like,
Yeah, I didn't call anyone. I did call my dad, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Did you check the cord?" I was like, it was just barely out, and yeah. Anyways, so that was it. Just ended up like I stayed up like an extra half an hour longer, and then it's just like, and then my mind's just racing. So like last night, kind of the same thing. My mind was just crazy.
you're going to have to remember that dad trick though. Like when, Rye or Jonas calls you in the future,
Yeah.
you check the
Just
cord.
check the cord. Oh, yeah. Did you restart the computer? But I ended up taking some CBD stuff last night, and it actually did help a lot. Although I woke up with a headache. I did too much THC in that one. And I did.
And now you're going on vacation.
Yeah,
How are you going to do a long run down there in the...
I got to do it. So I told him I'm going to be.
Well,
out
luckily
for
the
2
weather
hours.
has kind of turned, so it's not like you're doing 20 miles in North Carolina. Is it North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina.
In the dead of summer.
Right. So, I mean, I'll get it done. But again, it's just like, yeah, some of those time. And then next weekend's the Baltimore Running Festival. So just trying to fit it in around that as well. It's going to be 16 miles on the table for next weekend.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Is
Yeah.
that Saturday or Sunday?
But the Saturday is the race. So I could maybe do it Sunday, but
Or we could do it Friday.
or Friday. Yeah. It's just like a crazy couple weeks trying to fit some stuff in and just, yeah.
I mean, but with our plan for New York, you're not planning on, like, this isn't a race.
No, so as
throw it
long as I
down.
get my long runs in, I feel good. And a few, 6-mile runs each week. Like if I get like 35 miles a week, like I feel pretty good.
Fingers crossed.
No,
I feel a little nervous, but yeah.
you would be nervous?
A little bit. I like the long runs, I think, are the time on feet.
Dude, my first marathon was like, I was doing like 25 miles a week or something.
All right. Then you got it.
No, it'll be fine. But yeah, long runs are really the only thing. But I felt great, and you know what shoe I've been running in real fast?
The SE trainer.
I ran in that for the long run. Yeah, I actually did.
I know. I saw the picture
for the 12-mile run, and that's like a good long run shoe. Like great. It is crazy how good your legs feel the next day. Like didn't even feel like I ran. But there's this new 361 shoe.
Oh yeah,
the Centauri.
You like it?
You should probably get it. It's a really good. It's
All
like
right.
really nice. It's heavy, but like the ride is excellent.
Yeah, some other shoes that just came in for us is the DV8, not Elite, but the regular DV8. Nitro 2. And then
from Puma.
I don't know why. Was I supposed to get a Mizuno shoe?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I got a Wave Rider 24 or something like that.
Oh, looks like you're reviewing a Wave Rider.
I mean, you can take a look at it.
First time in years.
We'll unbox it.
But anyways, yeah, so it's going all right.
I have to say it's good to see you. I know that you're actually heading out on vacation, so this is the one day. But we missed you.
Let's wrap this up.
All right, who's our guest this week?
So our guest this week is Doug Smiley from Under Armour.
Oh wow!
So we're gonna talk about. Well, actually, I talked with him because y'all weren't here, but about the project for the Baltimore Running Festival that they're doing, and Brandon's running it.
Yeah, Velociti Elite.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? I can't
believe
I'm getting a shoe.
That actually is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, stick around for that, and yeah.
All right, cool.
Glad you had a good marathon.
Thank you, bud.